Hello again, guys and gals. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to another episode of Wired for Crappie Live Edition. Live at 5 after 9. What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's doing well. Let's see. If y'all don't care, make sure you say hello when you get on. Tell me what's up. Tell me where you're from. I always like to see where everybody's from and where everybody's joining us from. Okay, guys? So make sure you say hello. I'll say hello back. Or I'll try to anyway. Let's see who we got on tonight. William from Chicago. What's going on, William? Got Josh Sanders down from old Chat Town, down in Chattanooga. Jimmy Pratt. Hello, sir. Terry Gear, right down Interstate 40. All right. What's going on, Terry? Got Billy Smith. Hello, hello. Hope, what's going on, Hope? Let's see. Joseph Thaxton from Macon. What's going on? Terry, Oklahoma. Hello. Rusty Prophet. What's going on, man? Major Brown. What's up? What's up? Asleep. Hello. Doing well tonight. Hope you're doing well, Sleep. Chris, Sarge, Asleep. All the different names that you go by. Heidi Clark from Idaho. What's going on, Heidi? Mike S. Hello. Robert Love from Kingston. Home of Watts Bar Crappie. Billy Smith from Wartburg. Hello. Ashley Coffee. Hello. Harold Stamey. What's going on, Harold? And my feet jumped. There's one. Got lost once already. This ain't looking good, guys. It ain't looking good. We're in the first 3 minutes. I done got lost. I'm going to try to catch up. Hang on. If I miss you, I'm sorry. All right, Jason Story. What's going on, Jason? Dr. Jack, what's going on? Good to see you too, Dr. Jack. Blake Hawk, what's up? David Moyer, I think I said that right. Northport, Alabama. What's going on, David? Jody Gazaway, hello. Sean Mitchell, hello. Irene from Louisiana. Hello, Irene. And Tyler Key. What's going on, Tyler? All right, so let's see. Let's talk a little bit about last week real quick. Tournament on Douglas last Saturday. Caught probably 150 fish. I mean, absolutely just caught fish after fish after fish after fish after fish. Unfortunately, did not catch the ones that we needed to win again. So we finished second again. 2 months in a row, first loser. So runner up or second place or however you want to say that. It doesn't sound any better to me than first loser. So doesn't really matter how you say it. It sounds horrible to me. But no, we had a good tournament, really great tournament, great turnout. I had 18 boats in the event at Douglas, a lot of fish caught, and it was just a really good time, really good tournament, and had a lot of fun fishing it. So let's see, on Tellico, we lost by 2/100ths of a pound, I believe it was. And on Douglas, we lost by 2/10ths of a pound. So, I mean, it was right there neck and neck. It was a very close tournament, very close first, second place. Not as close as Tellico, but very close nonetheless. 9.5 pounds with 7 fish, 9.50 won it. And we had like 9.3. So 3 zeros. Yeah, it was tough pill to swallow, but we swallowed her and drove home with our tail between our legs and But again, a lot of fish, caught a lot of fish. Very, very fun tournament. Last week, I was asked a question. For those that were on the live last week, I caught a little bit of flack over it too, to be honest about it. But I got asked by one of our tournament anglers what the cold front would do to fish. I'm sure you guys saw that if you were on last week. So when we got back to the weigh-in, I answered that question for them, and I told them that the winners of the tournament caught their fish. My opinion, winners of the tournament would catch their fish on the bottom of the lake. They caught them on the bottom because that cold front that came through, the pressure dropped extreme. There was an extreme pressure drop, barometric pressure drop, which put the fish on the bottom of the lake. Now, the fish didn't leave where they were at. They just, instead of being suspended on brush, they sucked right down to the bottom of the lake and just kind of sat there and waited on things to turn the other way and the pressure to come back up. But they would still bite. But they were on the bottom of the lake. We caught a lot of fish with mud on their bellies. We'd pull them up and they'd have mud on their fins. That's how tight to the bottom they were. And I'll be, 100% honest with you guys. A lot of the fish we caught, we never saw on side imaging, down imaging, or live scope. Okay. A lot of the fish we caught, we just from previously fishing areas. I did pre-fish the week before, which you guys saw. I pre-fished in the rain. It was a miserable time, but I pre-fished that whole day in the rain. And the same piles that I found fish on the week before, there was fish on them the week of the tournament. However, they were on the bottom of the lake. So you could pitch your jig out, and you could watch your jig fall. And when your jig got within 2 foot of the bottom, you'd see your jig on the screen and it'd just be bottom. And then all of a sudden, all these dots would start coming up off the bottom towards your jig. And you're like, oh, okay, there is fish there. I mean, that's how tight those fish were to the bottom of the lake. So it stuck them on the bottom of the lake. I told them that before we started the weigh-in. I told, I said, here's what I'm going to think that everybody is going to see across the board. And, of course, at East Tennessee Crappie Club tournaments, the people who finish in the top 3 or 4 boats are in the money. Generally tell how they caught their fish, where they caught their fish, what kind of bait they were using, so on and so forth. And it was unanimous across the board. The guys that finished in the top 4 places all caught their fish on structure on the bottom of the lake in deeper water. So they were already in deep water to begin with, but they were suspended. And what happened is they just, instead of being in that suspended stage, they just dropped and sucked to the bottom. So anyway, to answer that question from last week, Josh Sanders, Ashley Coffey, I ain't lying, Emma. So they can vouch for that. They were the ones asked that question. They were at the tournament, so they can vouch for that. But very good tournament nonetheless. Had a lot of fun fishing it, and I'm looking forward to next month. Next month is going to be on Melton Hill. So we're going to be on Melton Hill a little bit, probably do a video or 2 from Melton Hill between now and then. Try to maybe throw everybody off and go to the complete opposite end, take a picture of a big fish and say, I caught it down here. Since now I know there's so many people stalking me on Wednesday nights. Rusty Profits talking to Scott Bunch, and Ashley and Josh are asking questions. I love it, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining. It's pretty good. All right. Terry from Oklahoma, what's going on? Joseph from Macon, Georgia. Hello, hello. If I didn't catch you guys, I wanted to make sure I caught you. Let's see. Where did I leave off? I'm lost again. Good evening, Tyler Key. How's it going, buddy? I got to pay attention to the chat a little bit better, I think, guys. Let's see here. Sorry about that. He gone. I don't know where Sarge went. Let's see. Where was I? Hey, there we go. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Slab Buster, what's going on? Terry Landry, good evening. Tim Payne, hello. Daryl Quarles, good evening. Steve Billings from Ranger, Texas. Well, I don't know about Ranger, Texas, but Ranger boats are the best in the world. So I'm sure Ranger, Texas, right up there with the boats. Let's see. Oh, there's Sarge. Yeah, he said took care of him. Maybe there was more than one. There are trolls out there, guys. I'm assuring you, there are trolls. We had some at the end of the very end of the live last week. We had a few get on there that started with some crazy comments. But yep, that's why we have moderators, and that's why we have the block you button. That's one of my favorite buttons. They come on here and act crazy. We'll give them the block you button. So anyway, let's see. Terry says, did you get your trim switches fixed? So I think I have, Terry. So I replaced the trim switch in my handle. Actually, I replaced the entire handle, the shift handle, throttle handle, whichever one you want to call it. But I replaced the entire handle in the boat, which it was like, I think it was $8 more to get the whole handle than it was to get just the trim switch itself. And I was like, you know what? I'll pay $8 and get the trim switch already installed in the handle. So, but I did get that replaced, got it wired up. It's working. I ran it up, down, and it didn't stay on. It went on and off when I hit the button and released the button. So thank you for asking. I'm thinking I got it fixed. Time will tell. I did put new trim relays in my motor, along with the switch that I swapped out. So I'm hoping that those parts alleviated my issue, and I think they did, because there's only one other switch that could short. I don't have a switch in the front on the bow. I just have the trim switch on my throttle, and I have the trim switch on the motor. So I did not replace the one on the motor itself, but I don't think that one's causing any issues, because when it started trimming down on me, I unplugged the one under the motor cowling, and it continued to trim down. So when I broke that circuit, if it was that switch, it would have quit. So I'm pretty sure I got it fixed, but we'll see. But thank you for asking, Terry. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for looking out for me, buddy. Robert Johnson from Southeast Arkansas. What's up? Crappie Fisherman says, what's a good color combo for tomorrow? On what lake, Crappie Fisherman? I'm not sure where you're going. It really doesn't matter what lake you're going to. Black and chartreuse will work anywhere. So I'd say black and chartreuse. What's the weather going to be like? It's not supposed to rain tomorrow, is it? I'd say black and chartreuse. It's a go-to. It's a staple. You can fish that anywhere and catch crappie. Oh, what's Josh saying right here? He did answer after the tournament, and that's exactly what happened. I had 0 waypoints on the lake, so if I couldn't see the fish on side imaging, I didn't stop, but I learned a lot and weighed 7. Yep. So, Josh, you guys did great. Congratulations. Anytime you weigh 7 fish, guys, it's a win. So my first year of the club, when I started East Tennessee Crappie Club, that was my goal, because we fished a lot of lakes that year that I'd never been to. And I told myself, I said, I want to weigh 7 fish at every tournament. I don't care if I win. I don't care if I lose. I don't care if I finish 11th, 12th, 15th, 21st. I don't care. As long as I weigh 7 fish, I got a chance. So that was my goal for the first year of my tournament fishing career, was catch 7 fish, weigh 7 fish, weigh a limit of fish. No matter what you have to do, find 7 keeper fish. And you guys have done that in both tournaments you fished so far. Congratulations. Awesome job to you guys. And look forward to seeing y'all next month too. Major Brown. I answered the trim switch question. I hope you heard that, Major, but I did not video the install. And I'll tell you why, because I had to crawl under the dash of my boat to get back in behind because I have a hideaway shifter. So the only thing that sticks out the fiberglass is the throttle handle itself. Everything else is behind the fiberglass. It was a nightmare to get my arm back in there to get what I needed to get to back in there. It was just a nightmare. So I did not video that. And I apologize. I probably should have, but I run a Johnson Fast Strike 150. And as everybody knows, Johnson is no longer making motors. They are still making parts for my boat. Thank the Lord. But they are no longer making motors, and they're going to eventually be obsoleted. And I just didn't make a video. I'm sorry. Ashley, let's see. So Ashley says, but I did learn a lesson. I won't forget next time a fall cold front rolls in. Yep, that's right. It's a learning process, Ashley. It really is. So, the guys that I guess have fished in those conditions before and have experienced those conditions on the lake before, those are the guys you saw that did well. They knew what those conditions would do to the fish, and they adapted to what the conditions gave us. That's the thing about tournament fishing, guys, is you're dealt the cards you're dealt, and you've got to figure out how to play those cards. That's what's so cool about it. For a lot of guys, just your weekend fishermen, if you get a big cold front and it drops 40 degrees, and the pressure drops, and you can choose to fish another day. When you're tournament fishing, you don't have that choice. I mean, you got to go fish and find fish. So I'm sure that will come to the front of your mind every time we fish a fall crappie tournament and a cold front snaps us, because it'll happen again. I assure you it'll happen again. It seems like all of our tournaments we get plagued with a cold front. We can't get good weather for a tournament. It just ain't right. You got to have bad weather. So it'll happen again. Trust me. Aaron from Riceville, what's going on? Major Brown said, Josh Sanders, it only cost you $1.99 for pre-tournament tips. You guys are crazy. Rusty, what day are you going to practice on Melton Hill? Eyes, private eye, and something in between there. I'm not real sure what that is, but I've made up my mind, guys, that I'm buying another boat. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy another boat, and I'm going to pre-fish out of something else. I'm going to start pre-fishing out of a 14-foot Alumacraft John boat. That's what I'm going to start pre-fishing out of, just to throw you guys off so you don't see me. I'm going to wear a ski mask and fish out of a John boat for pre-fishing. That's funny. Chad Hillard checked in from Lindale, Texas. What's going on, Chad? Hope Gudger, speaking of boats, what would you recommend? Make, model, etc. Well, I'm partial to a Ranger. Ranger makes a very good, solid boat no matter how you want to fish. No matter if you want to bass fish, crappie fish, striper fish. I mean, they make a good boat all the way around. Model, there's so many good ones out there. Oh, honestly, it just depends on what you like. I mean, as far as models are concerned, I fish out of a Ranger 690 VS. It is a 96 model. It is a deep V boat, a style boat anyway. It is very deep in the floor. It's got very high sides. I love, love, love that boat. It's fiberglass. I used to be, let me say this. Golly, sorry, I got the hiccups. Let me say this, guys. I used to be an aluminum boat guy, and I swore up and down by my bass tracker. I told people, look, I'll never own a fiberglass boat because I can take this boat, I can run it on the bank, I can run it into that tree, I can push it up against that dock, and I don't care. It won't scratch it, ding it, cut it, break it. Outside of hitting a rock wide open, they're pretty indestructible, and they are. But I'll tell you what they are. They also are, is they're like a kite. You get them out there in open water on brush out in the middle of the lake, and I'm telling you, the wind will push you around like a leaf, like a dead leaf falling out of a tree. You get you a good fiberglass boat, a good heavy fiberglass boat like a Ranger 690 VS. Thing is heavier than sin. You can sit out there in the middle of that lake and it doesn't affect you. The wind does not affect you as much. It will affect you a little. It's wind, current wind. It's going to affect the boat. But that big old heavy boat, it sits so low in the water, so deep in the water, it doesn't affect you as much. And you can fish a lot easier out of a heavier boat. So there's trade-offs. Okay, heavier boats, heavier boats, more gas. You're going to burn more gas with a heavier boat. My bass tracker had a 50 horse Mercury on it. It run 30 mile an hour, and it was a PT 185. It was a silver anniversary edition, and it was 18 and a half foot. And I could fill that gas tank up and fish for a month. And that's tournament fishing. I run it all over the lake. My Ranger 690 VS with that 150 Johnson behind it, I got to put 10 gallons in it every time I go to the lake. And that's just to start it up. I mean, it drinks gas. It's heavy. I get horrible gas mileage, but the trade-off, I don't care to put the gas in it. So there's pros and cons to each material. Okay. You just got to weigh those and decide what you want. So, and my Ranger runs 49, 50 mile an hour. So it runs a lot faster, but it drinks the fuel. So just depends on what you're looking for, buddy. Josh. Yeah, Matt, the best day for me to follow Matt around Melton Hill will be Thursday afternoons the next few weeks. Why Thursdays? I'm not real sure. You want me to fish on Thursday so you can follow me around? Is that what you're saying? Terry Gear, I called Gunnies to get the amp battery. They were out. I tried. Dadgummit. Well, Terry, I can tell you, those amp batteries don't sit on the shelf long. They fly off the shelf. They are very, very good batteries. Yeah, they're very good batteries. And sorry, I'm reading at the same time I'm answering a question. And they don't stay on this shelf very long. They sell pretty quick. So I'm sure he'll get more in, though. Or did you find one already? You may have already found one. Rusty says, Josh, I can cover Sunday through Thursday next week. I'm going to have to be in stealth mode. See, the thing about me, though, guys, is you'll never know. You'll never know if I find stuff or don't find stuff because I don't stop and fish. I mean, sounds good, Rusty. I can pick up a Saturday or two. Y'all see me on the lake and you won't know if I found something or not because I'm just idling. My boat never comes out of gear. I'm idling. And I might find stuff I might not. You never know. I can assure you, if you go to that lake, you'll see me from the dam all the way up to the nuke plant and probably above that. So there's no telling where you'll find me at. That lake's not very big. Melton Hill is a smaller reservoir, the fishable section anyway. And there's not a whole lot of coves and creeks and things on that lake. There's very few. So it's mostly a river lake. You're mostly fishing river conditions. And yeah, I mean, I'll be all over it. That's for sure. I'll be out there burning fuel, guys. Jody Gosaway, what's your favorite color on Melton Hill? My favorite color on Melton Hill so far, from fishing it in the last few years, is probably moon dust and white and chartreuse. Actually, they're both right here. That's moon dust. That's white and chartreuse. Those are probably my two favorite colors on that lake so far. That's the moon dust stump bug and white and chartreuse stump bug. So if I had to pick two colors to go that lake with, that'd be it. And, let's talk about Douglas a minute, because there was a lot of guys on Douglas that said white and chartreuse was a good color for them, and I never tried white and chartreuse. And I went home that night, and I was kicking myself in the tail for not trying white and chartreuse. I don't know why I didn't. I just never put white and chartreuse on. I did black and chartreuse. I did purple and chartreuse. We did, we used I don't think I have any in here. We used a crappie magnet called Zoe's Glow. With the first pile we stopped on up there, we saw there was fish all over it, and we made 10 or 12 casts and they wouldn't even move. I mean, the fish they just locked down on brush, wouldn't move. They were very low, very close to the bottom, but there were so many there that we saw fish, and they just wouldn't move on a jig at all. So we went through a whole gambit of colors. I mean, the moon. Hang on just a second. I saw a super chat. I saw one. Terry, thanks for doing the channel. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you're new to the live, super chats are way right down below the comment where it says post a comment. Right down below that's a little dollar symbol. That is a super chat. Super chats are a way for you guys to give back to Wired for Crappie, back to the channel. Everything that comes in goes right back into crappie fishing, goes to making good content, watchable, fun content for you guys. Keeps me on the water, keeps my boat on the water, keeps me, fuel and so on. So many things that cost so much money to make the videos for you guys. That goes right back into it. I thank you, Terry. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. And you're very welcome. I enjoy doing the channel probably more than you guys enjoy watching it, to be honest. I just love sharing information. I'm very, very informative. I'm a very, very descriptive person, I think, or I like to think I am anyway. I've been told I am. So we'll go with that. And I just love sharing information and helping you guys. That's my passion, is to help crappie fishermen. That includes during tournaments. That includes during tournament days. I know Josh is going to come back at me, or Ashley's going to come back at me and say, yeah, not last week before the tournament, but that's okay. I guarantee those guys will remember fish the bottom of the lake next time a cold front moves in. So, some of these things are learning experiences, guys. You got to learn so that it ingrains on your brain, so that next time, it pops back up and you say, oh yeah, I remember that. So I try not to take away some of those learning moments too. But anyway, thank you very, very much, Terry, for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. You're the man. All right. Oh, Blake Hawk says, Terry, we will have them by Friday or Tuesday at the latest. So got the amp batteries coming in, Terry. Thank you, Blake. I appreciate that. Crappie Fisherman, Kentucky, clear water conditions. What lake in Kentucky, Crappie Fisherman? I can probably narrow it down a little bit more if you tell me a lake, but I'll wait and see if you tell me real quick, and then I'll answer that. Slab buster. I burned my trim motor up one time. It came on in the down position on the way home one day a few years ago. Now I turn the power off as soon as I get out of the water. So yeah, slab buster. Thank you for saying that, because that's exactly, well, that's similar to what mine did. So I was very lucky, slab buster, that I just trailered my boat. I was getting ready to go to the house. It was the day I fished in the monsoon on Douglas, and my motor just starts trimming down. Just it hits the bottom of the trim, and it just keeps going. And I thought, yeah, that's what it sounded like. So that sounds horrible. All right, it's dying go. So it just kept trimming, and finally I sit there hitting the button, mashing the buttons. I'd mash the up button and it would stop, and I'd let go of the up button and keep going. So finally I got it to stop long enough to where I could get my motor up, get it back down onto my motor mate, which I use a motor mate under my motor. And if you guys hadn't checked out motor mate, by the way, absolutely love my motor mate. It holds my motor straight. I love it. Sorry. Yeah, so motor mate, absolutely love it. Holds my motor, doesn't shake, doesn't wobble. In my opinion, it's the best motor toter out there. So anyway, but got the motor mate on there. And I'm not sponsored by them. I paid for mine. I paid $100 for mine, just like anybody else. But got that put on and was actually strapping the front of the boat down. Thought, okay, I'm good. Starts doing it again. Thankfully, I had the motor mate on it, and it couldn't go anywhere. But so I jumped up in the boat and unplugged the positive. So not only did I buy all the equipment or parts that I needed to fix that, but I also bought a Baystar, I think it is, a Baystar 12-volt battery disconnect. I can show it to you guys, actually, because I bought it off of Amazon. Gotta love Amazon, right? No, hello. Maybe if I check my emails. All right. So it's a Blue Sea battery disconnect switch. That's the one I bought right there. Off, on, simple. And that'll get mounted next to my battery, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So slab buster, that opened my eyes that, if a switch goes out while I'm driving home or while it's sitting in the shed, man, anything could happen. It could go up, it could rip a hydraulic line. I've got hydraulic steering. It could go all the way to the top and stress something, or it could go all the way to the bottom and blow a motor up. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to do the same thing. I bought that, and I'm going to put it on. I will video that if you guys want to see a video on that, installing an on-off switch, and that's a main power on-off switch. So what will happen is you'll have a 4-gauge, probably a 12-inch wire from the battery to that box, and then all of my power for the entire boat will get powered to that box. That's everything, with the exception of my live scope goes to my amped battery. My trolling motor goes to separate batteries. It's just cranking, lights, all that. So instruments, gauges, so on and so forth will go to that. It will get cut off. Motor gets cut off anytime I'm off the lake. So as soon as I come back and put it on the trailer, boom, and right before I launch, or actually you can launch it with no power and then jump in it and kick the power on, start the boat up and go. But I can video that if you guys would like to see it. Just let me know. Rusty, enjoy the channel and the club. Thanks for all you do and for being a good sport. Well, thank you, Rusty. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate you very much. honestly, guys, Rusty, yeah, they don't get any better than Rusty. Actually, so I told you guys about I bought my. Oh, what happened? Where'd Rusty go? There he is. So I told you guys my 93 SV that I run my live scope on. I bought that used, and that actually came from Rusty. So great friend, great person, great guy. Thank you, Rusty. I appreciate it. I'm glad to call you a friend, and thank you for the super chat, buddy. All right, let's see. Where am I at? Boy, I'm way behind, aren't I? Good Lord. All right. I was lost. Now I'm found. Let's see what you guys are saying. Scott Pace from Lake Gunnersville. What's going on, buddy? Hey, I've been looking at, just so you guys know, I've been looking at the truck bed tents that you throw up over your truck bed, throw a mattress in there. I'm about to get me one of them. I'm about to go to Gunnersville and Weiss. I'm about to go all over the place. We're going to sleep in the truck. We're going to take a very good heater, and we're going to camp out, and we're going to do some fishing. So I'm looking forward to that. That's coming soon. As soon as I can get that truck bed cover, and I actually thought about doing something out of PVC too, because I've been looking at some, and I could make a little PVC. I could take it apart, lay it in the bed, put it together real quick for bed, and put a tarp over it. Be good as gold. So anyway, we're looking at some different things, but to be continued on that. But welcome, Scott. Rusty says, I went back to Douglas on Monday, and they were still on the bottom in stumps. Caught a good limit, though. Enjoyed the tournament and learned a lot, too. Well, guys, let me tell you, Rusty finished – where'd you finish, Rusty? Third? Rusty and them finished third. Yeah, third place. Okay, let him in. Come on. No. Go lay down. Oh, Rust dog. His bed's in my office, so he wanted in. He wants to go lay down, or he wants to bite my foot. Go lay down. Go. Go lay down. Get in your bed. Good boy. All right. So, yeah, Rusty and them finished third, and they had a great tournament. They had a great showing. Congratulations, Rusty, on your showing. It was I'm sure it was well-deserved, well-earned. I know you guys put a lot of time in. Curtis Hobbs. What's going on, Curtis? Oh, Mr. Lightwire. Let's see. Where's that decal at? Well, you can't really see the decal. Where's that? Right? It's in here. Oh, Mr. Lightwire himself. Oops. Well, we're going to leave those on the floor. Lightwire hooks, Mr. Curtis Hobbs. How you doing, Curtis? Hope you're doing well. I know Curtis had that whole eye thing going on, so let's see. Got a couple 10-foot ACC crappie sticks like them. Now to get boat back from shop. Motor problem. Been a couple times this fall. Bite pretty good in Georgia. So Curtis, I know you've been fishing black shear a lot. My father lives in Albany, and we fished black shear several years ago. Black shear is a good lake. Black shear has some huge fish in it. So hate to hear you're having motor problems, though. I hope they're getting that worked out for you. What happened? Slab Happy Lures, what's up? What's going on, buddy? Paul says, hi, Matt. Good evening. Love your videos. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it, buddy. Good evening, sir. Billy Smith, do you all tournament fish year round? So I guess I kind of do, with the exception of summer. I don't really tournament fish in the summer because there's not a whole lot going on in the summer as far as tournaments are concerned, Billy. East Tennessee Crappie Club fishes tournaments September through April. And May, June, July, August, the club does different things to teach. So we do on the water training days, we do seminars, in classroom seminars, PowerPoint presentation seminars. We do a lot of stuff to teach during our off season because it's important to us to pass on the information that we've picked up over the years and share that with other anglers. We don't want to be just a tournament fishing club. We don't want to be just a club that does nothing but fish tournaments. And when I started the club 7 years ago, I told everybody that joined the club that very night that I had the very first meeting, I said, if you guys want to just show up and fish a tournament and not help people, this is not going to be your scene. You are not going to like it and you're not going to have fun because I'm going to put you in an uncomfortable position at some point and ask you, A, teach people via on the water, in a classroom, so on and so forth. B, I'm going to ask you at a tournament how you caught your fish, and you are going to get mad at me about it. C, I'm going to ask you how you caught your fish, and you're going to tell me a story, and then I'm going to get mad at you about it. So I told everybody a long time ago, we're going to teach people and help people. So I'm very, very busy as far as with the channel, with Wired for Crappie, with guiding, and with seminars, tournaments, so on and so forth in the crappie industry. Very, very involved out in the crappie world right now. Love it. Wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely love getting to know all you guys and girls and love getting to know all these different companies, all these different people in the industry, and just really just feed my passion is just teaching you guys and helping you guys. And anyway, that's enough about that. But no, I typically don't tournament fish year round because I do other things part of the year to help other anglers. Okay. Josh, legit question. Okay. What is the threshold for the pressure drop? How much does it have to drop to send fish scrambling to the bottom like this last weekend? Very good question. Very good question. So, most of the time, Josh, you're going to see to set up a pattern like we saw last weekend, you're going to have a substantial drop. It's not going to be something that, if you wake up one morning and it's 50 degrees and then the next morning you wake up and it's 45 degrees, that's not enough to harm the fish. Okay. It's not enough for them to be noticeably different. It's those swings that we had, like where it was 70 degrees when you wake up in the morning to it being 38 degrees when you wake up in the morning. That swing is going to affect fish. As far as the pressure drop, I'm not going to tell you there's an exact number to the pressure drop because there's more variables than just the barometric pressure that are going to play into that. There's also temperatures, surface temperatures, and moon phase plays into that too. Okay. We were on a full moon, right? Were we on a full moon? I believe we were. I'd have to look back. I don't remember now. But anyway, there's a lot more factors that play into it just than the pressure. But temperature-wise, when you see that swing like we had, that extreme cold front that comes in, and you got temperatures, night temperatures that go from 70 to 40, that is going to affect them. That drop in pressure, that's extreme low pressure that dips down through here, and it's going to knock them in the head. Okay. But other than that, good rule of thumb, anytime you're in a high pressure pattern and it drops to a low pressure pattern, okay, that is going to affect fish. It's going to make them a little lethargic. All right. It's going to change their mood and the way they're setting in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But it's going to take a high to a low. That's a good question. Tim Payne says crappie nibbles are good for the hiccups, I hear. Well, guess what? I'm going to stick with the hiccups because crappie nibbles are nasty. Okay? They taste horrible. Let's see. Thank you, Terry. Remember us next time, and don't forget the 10% off with Wired code. Thanks again. Yeah, so Blake's talking about Crappie Cove in Maryville, Tennessee, inside Gunny's Firearms, inside, or not inside, but in Maryville, Tennessee. So Crappie Cove, guys, if you guys call Crappie Cove and order from them, or you go to Crappie Cove in Maryville, Wired will get you 10% off on all products, all their fishing gear inside Crappie Cove. So hit them up. If you're looking for something specific, give them a call. They do have a website coming. I don't know where they're at on development for that. They will be doing web sales soon if they're not already, but hadn't seen it myself or heard, but I'm pretty sure it's coming. So it's in the pipe. But Wire to get you 10% off at Crappie Cove. Okay, guys? Slab Buster, aluminum boat, even a nice like Triton or Ranger, they still ride like crap in rough water. I've been there, done that, but I do love the gas mileage out of 50 or 60 horsepower. Yeah, I love the gas mileage too. See, my bass tracker rode great though in rough water. I mean, it was so light, I could put that thing up on plane and I could skip across the top of that lake and it never dropped in a hole at all. I mean, my fiberglass boat rides worse in rough water than my aluminum did because I could just ride across the top. But that's just me. Slab Buster says his boat gets 2 miles per gallon downhill. Yeah. Crappie Fisherman said, I fish Douglas around the Indian Creek area. That's a very good area to fish. There's a lot of fish around Indian Creek. The only bad thing is there's a lot of fishermen in Indian Creek most of the time, especially in the winter. Could not. We went into Indian Creek one winter, and there was literally so many people sitting in the mouth of Indian Creek, so many boats. You could not troll. This was back when trolling was big. You couldn't troll. And if you pulled in there, and they were all floating, flying. Floating, flying's huge on Douglas in the winter. They were all floating and flying, and if you pulled in there, you could not make a full cast in any one direction without casting into someone's boat. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I was like, forget this. Let's go find fish somewhere else. And we rode up and found fish off the main channel, and not a boat in sight, not a flipping boat nowhere. And we caught a limit in like an hour and a half. It was ridiculous. And I was like, okay, y'all sitting in Indian Creek. I'm up here snatching fish out of the lake. So anyway, yeah. But Indian Creek is a good area. There's a lot of fish in Indian Creek. Jimmy says, you never talk about the color of head. Well, that's because I'm not a huge believer in color of head, Jimmy. Most of my fishing takes place with a chartreuse head. But everything I caught on Douglas last weekend came on this head. That exact head right there. That's a double cross from Crappie Magnet. It was just a straight, unpainted lead head. Every fish I caught was on that lead head right there. That exact one. That's a 16th ounce. Right there. 16th ounce, unpainted. That's what I caught them on. So, like I've said before, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Silver is a color. Okay. Shad or silver. And need I say more? So, silver's a color. Those are my go-tos. Chartreuse and unpainted. And I'll use a little pink. I'll use a little white. I've got a whole box full. I've got a whole tackle box, the little white clear tackle box full of jig heads, all different colors. And yeah, from time to time when I'm in there, I'll grab some funky color and throw it on and throw a jig on it and start fishing. I'm more of a believer. You guys know me. I'm more of a believer in contrasting the water and profile. So profile of a jig and contrasting the water is what I'm trying to do, more than I am trying to pinpoint a color. Trent Huber said, "Can you tell us what a cold front does to the fish now?" Well, I think I answered that already, Trent, but I'll answer it again for you. A very hard cold front like we had come through before the tournament will put fish in a very low mood. Well, it's a low pressure, so it puts them in a very lethargic mood, and it puts them on the bottom of the lake. So the fish were still in the same areas, but it did dropped them down in the water column and put them on the bottom. So to answer that question, and I did answer that question at the tournament, like I said earlier. Sean Bradford, have you had a chance to use the TI2 or the UHD Garmin side imaging on the water? Going to buy one of the two for my dash. Okay. Yes and yes. I've used both. I've used all the different electronics, Humminbirds, Garmin's, Lowrance's. I've used them all. If I was going to buy a unit right now, okay, especially between the TI and the UHD, I would buy the Garmin all day long. Okay, Sean, I would go with the Garmin. And the reason I would go with the Garmin is because the Garmin side imaging is comparable to Lowrance. The differences in that side imaging unit are very minor in the differences. You're still going to be able to see what you're looking at. You're still going to be able to identify structure and fish. But what I like about the UHD, if you ever decide you want live scope, you could run it on the UHD. I believe. I'm not sure exactly what model you're looking at, but you should be able to. So to answer that question, I would go with the Garmin. That's just me. Terry said he loves his MotorMate. They're awesome. Yes, they are. Yeah, guys, don't forget. Thank you, Blake. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up, okay? That thumbs up does a lot of things. It shows other people that you like the content. It tells YouTube that it's good content. And YouTube uses an algorithm that they go through and they see all these new videos and they say, oh, okay, this one got 4 thumbs up. This one got 400 thumbs up. This one got 40 thumbs up. And they take those videos that a lot of people like and they recommend those. You guys get it. You get on YouTube and you see this video is recommended for you. Well, that's because so many people liked it and it was in the same type of genre, if you will, as the video you're watching, and they say, hey, take a look at this. You might like it. So smash that thumbs up for me. Do me a favor. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take time, subscribe to the channel, smash that notification bell. That way you get notified when I post a video and when we're going live. So when I put a live out, it's going to tell you we're going live, remind you, and And you'll also get notification for my videos when I post those. So please do that before you leave if you don't care. Let's see. Man, what is it tonight? I'm like popular as far as, well, somewhat popular with the spammers. Busy night with spammers. Popular with them tonight, it seems. All right. Here's a good question. Do you need live scope to catch crappie? No, absolutely not. That is a very good question. No, you do not need live scope to catch crappie. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I've done videos without live scope. If you go to my channel and you look, there's an actual video that says how to catch crappie without live scope. Got a big live scope picture on there with a big X to it. And I mean, it's not a necessity to catch crappie, guys. It's really not. And I've got a ton of videos out there on my channel that I'm not using my live scope. Okay. I've done trolling videos. I've done crankbait videos. I've done planer board videos. I've done brush fishing videos, dock fishing videos without live scope. I've tried to teach you guys how I fish live scope. I fish brush the same way before live scope that I do with live scope now. The only thing live scope does, okay, is live scope allows you to be more efficient on the water. So you can point the live scope, you can say, okay, they're right there. Instead of, well, I got to cast here. Nope, they're not there. I got to cast here. Nope, they're not there. I got to cast here. Nope, they're not there. I got to cast over here. Bam, there's a fish. Okay. You've already made 4, 5, 6 casts. Then you find where they're at, and then you can catch their 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20 fish. It just eliminates unnecessary time on the water. Okay. You don't have to have it. You can catch fish without it. I've tried to, I mean, I know I get comments all the time, show more live scope, show more live scope. And it's like, golly, I don't want my channel to be just live scope because there's so many people out there that don't have it and they still want to catch fish too. So I try to help with some live scope and some videos without live scope. Try to have a good balance of those, I guess. But no, to answer your question, you don't need live scope to catch crappie. All right, follow up. Everyone got a live scope now, and I just have a Garmin Striker 4 for my canoe. That's fine. That's all you need is ask yourself, what time of year is it? What's the water temperature? And then locate brush in the right depth, okay? So this time of year, I don't know where you're from, Alien, but I'm going to go with Alien because I'm not sure of your name, so that's your name on here. I'll go with Alien. That sounded funny to me. All right, so I don't know where you're from or where you're fishing, but this time of year with the water temperatures starting to drop across the country because it's getting cooler, you're going to start wanting to look in that 15 to 18-foot range. Mouths of creeks, third of the way back in the creeks, creek channels. You're going to want to locate structure, and if you locate brush off the bank, open water brush in those depths, you should find crappie. Okay, if there's crappie in your lake, you should find them on those areas. You can find it with a Striker 4 just fine. Paddle that canoe around, buddy, get you some brush and fish brush. Get you a buoy, get you a marker buoy. When you find that brush, throw a marker buoy out on it, and then sit there and you can vertical jig. You're in a canoe, so you're not making a lot of noise. You can vertical jig right up and down over top of that brush. You can cast over top of that brush. You can swim a jig over top of that brush. You can do a lot of different things to catch crappie out of your canoe with that Striker 4. You don't have to have live scope. Now, if you want to put it on that canoe, that'd be pretty awesome. Just going to say, that'd be pretty awesome. I'd watch that video, but you don't have to have it, okay? Yeah, Rusty. We'll see about that. Next week is not good for me, buddy. I'm telling you right now. This weekend I'm busy. Next weekend I'm busy, and the weekend after that is the members trip. And actually, to be honest with you guys, so Rusty said, by the way, when you bought the '93 SV, you promised me a trip. Melton Hill next week is good for me. I don't remember saying that, but if I did, okay, I'll take your word for it. We'll talk about that later, whether I did or didn't. But man, my schedule is my schedule's real the next few weeks. So family going away this weekend. Got a little thing planned with family this weekend. Next weekend is let's see. Next weekend is the youth hunt. Tennessee Youth Hunt. My boys will be in a stand with me, and then weekend after that we've got let's see. Weekend after that we've got some things going on. Busy that weekend. Weekend after that's the members trip, East Tennessee Crappie Club members trip, Lake Hartwell. Woo! Going to Lake Hartwell. Can't wait for that. And then Melton Hill after that, and work all in between. So yeah. Sorry, Rusty. Doesn't look like it's in the cards, bro. Larry Camp from Alabama. What's going on, buddy? Rusty said he's thinking about a truck tent too. I'm serious. I'm about to get me one. Slab Buster, I'm calling it Weiss. That's me, bud. Yes. Weiss. Hey. Weiss. I like it. Some people say y'all, some people say yins. I'm just saying. I'm going with Weiss. I've been corrected on that like every week for the past, I don't know how many weeks. Chris, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Y'all can tell me, pronounce it this way, that way, and the other way. Guess what? It's Weiss. Weiss Lake. I'm going to get phone calls later. My phone's going to start ringing in a minute. I'm going to turn it off. Nah, it's going to start going off here in just a minute. Now Hope's getting on me. Come on, Hope. But hey, every time I try to get you, Hope, you're off gallivanting somewhere. So I want to hear that. Because every time I try to get you, you're off doing something or somewhere. I can't get you answering the phone. I want to hear it, Hope. Guys, I've got to say, Mr. Hope, quick story. When my now 13-year-old was 6, 7, 8, I coached his little league baseball team. I'm a baseball fan. I love baseball. Played baseball when I was younger. I absolutely love baseball. And Hope and I actually coached together on the little league. We didn't coach together on the same team. We coached in the same league. He had his team, I had mine. And I'm just gonna throw it out there, but I kicked his butt, guys. It was bad. We let him have it several different times, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we came out on top on that deal, and we was the underdogs too. Everybody thought we was gonna get killed, and hey, them boys by the end of the year, them boys can flat out play ball. I'm telling you right now, it was a lot of fun. I loved it. I can't wait. I got a little, as you guys know, I've got. My littlest one's 5. He's getting ready to get into baseball, and I'm gonna be back coaching again. I think. Well, I hope. You gotta sign up and get approved and all that to coach. But I'm hoping I can get in there again, do a little bit more baseball coaching. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, Hope. I'm just gonna throw it out there, buddy. I beat you a couple times, kicked your butt. Now that you want to talk smack, let's talk some smack. Let the smack begin. Ready, go, break. Ding, ding, ding. All right, we're back to fishing. For my baseball fans out there, I'm just going to say the Braves should have beat the Dodgers. What the crap happened to the Braves? I mean, come on. That was ridiculous. Anyway, next. I'm sure I'll get some comments on that. That is an Alabama thing, Slab. Come on now. He says it's an Alabama thing, the way they pronounce Weiss. It is. It's a Tennessee thing to say Weiss. Yeah, I've deleted some too, Sarge. Sarge says he's got some spammers out of here tonight. I've got some myself. Hey, we're out for them. They come in here, we're going to get them. We got people watching. I like it. I see a lot. I love my live scopes. They're good. I mean, it's great technology, guys. It really is. And it eliminates so much water, but you don't have to have it. You guys know. Come on. You guys know. The ones that have it, you guys know you don't have to have it to catch fish. Oh man, I saw a good question. I lost it. Hey, there it is. I'm back. Terry says, what jig head shape or profile do you like? Round, pill, swim, or minnow head? Terry, I'm a round all day long from start to finish. I am a round jig head type of guy. I don't really know why. I've used minnow heads. I've used pill heads. I hadn't used a whole lot of swim heads. But I'm a round head kind of guy. I don't know why. Again, I don't know that it really makes much of a difference. I mean, I'm sure as far as drag is concerned and things of that nature, if you're trolling, it could potentially have an effect on your depth, but not enough to really make a difference, I don't think. I mean, not when you're talking 16th ounce heads. I mean, when you're talking maybe, larger stuff, it may affect you a little more, but we're talking 16th or 32nd ounce head. Nah, I don't see much difference in them, to be honest, Terry. Like I said, I am a round jig head kind of guy. I mean, you guys know the double cross is what I use 90% of the time. If I don't have a light wire hook on from Curtis, I'll tell you what, if I'm fishing with a pony head, they are from Mr. Curtis. My pony heads, all my pony heads come from light wire hooks. Pony head is a jig head with a blade on it. I think we talked about that last week or the week before, but just a round ball head is what I prefer. Nothing special. So that's my go-to. All right. I should have answered that question before I deleted it. I should have. That would have been funny. But I didn't. Some people, guys. Dr. Jack, question. So does a high front send crappie up the water column? It seems they get lethargic on the bluebird days as well. No, they do not get lethargic, Dr. Jack. Let me elaborate on this a little bit, okay? Bluebird days are related to a high pressure, yes, okay? But when you go from a low pressure to a high pressure, with a rising barometric pressure, when everything's rising, fish are going to be active. They're going to be feeding. They're going to be carrying on, doing their thing. They're not necessarily going to come up in the water column, okay? They may, but they're not necessarily going to come up. I mean, if they're setting somewhere, if everything is stable, if you've got a stable weather pattern, you could still be in a low, but if it's a stable low, you've just been riding the low pressure for a week, and then all of a sudden you get a high pressure move in, you've got a rising barometric pressure, fish are going to be active, they're going to feed. But on bluebird days, Dr. Jack, and everybody says this, a bluebird day is the biggest misconception in crappie fishing that I think I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. Bluebird days does not shut fish down. Bluebird days does not shut fish down. And there may be some people that disagree with me, but let me tell you something. The reason people have a harder time catching fish on a bluebird day is because fish pull extremely tight to cover, okay? And when I say extremely tight, I'm talking like under the cover, okay? It's not. How many times have you guys heard? Oh, you may as well not fish that lake past 10:30 because at 10:30 they quit biting. Wrong. They don't quit biting at 10:30. What happens, and I've explained this before, is here's your brush pile. Okay, here's your brush pile. Here's the sun. Sun comes up. All right. When the sun's low, it's casting a shadow off this. Well, sun's over here. It's casting a shadow off this side of the brush pile. Right. The sun's low. It's coming through the water, casting a shadow this way. As that sun gets up, right over top of that brush pile, where's the shadow at? The shadow is directly underneath the brush pile. Okay? As that sun comes down, the shadow comes. This camera is horrible. Sun comes down, the shadows cast this direction, away from the brush. The fish move out and stay in the shadow. The fish in the morning stay over here in the shadow. Fish in the evening move out in the shadow. Midday, right underneath the brush pile. You can still catch fish in the middle of the day. You just have to fish tighter to cover. Dr. Jack, bluebird day is the same thing. Crappie just pull tighter to cover. You got to fish tight. You got to get in there with them. You can catch the same number of fish on a bluebird day that you catch on a cloudy day, okay? They're just not as easy to get to. That's it. Spoiler alert. Sorry to spoil it for you guys. I'm gonna get a piece of paper. Spoiler alert! And the big flashing light. Bluebird days, sun, 10:30s, all that crap. Throw that out the window, guys. Not true. That's just what people say when they can't catch fish anymore and they go home. If the only time you can go fishing is from 12 to 2, go fishing. But let me tell you something. Get you a jig and get you a jigging rod and go straight down in top of brush piles and catch fish because they're going to be tight. But if that's the only time you can go fishing, go. So I hope that helps. Kip Wright says, seems like I caught more limits without live scope. With live scope, I find myself looking for bigger fish, quality over quantity. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Tournament days, for sure. But I don't know. I still like that thump. Guys, it don't matter to me if it's 10 inches or 15 inches. I enjoy catching crappie. So, if crappie's crappie to me. I mean, I know, everybody likes to see big fish. Everybody likes to see, well, I won't use any terms that anybody else uses, but everybody likes to see those big fish being pulled in. But, guys, it's not all about going and catching 14, 15, 16, 18-inch fish. Well, you catch an 18-incher, call me, I want to see it. But it's not always about going and catching big fish. It's going out there and catching fish and having fun. That's what it's about. And if you can locate fish, eventually you're going to locate big ones. So, but yeah, I just love crappie fishing. I love catching fish. Kip, I find myself doing that sometimes too. But at the end of the day, buddy, I'm a crappie fisherman at heart. And I'll be honest, I don't know about you guys, but if I had to eat a crappie, I'm looking for a 10 to 11 inch crappie because a 10-inch crappie's got enough meat that you can eat. But if you get over 11, and those fillets get soggy, they get mushy. I'm looking for that 10 to 11 inch fish. I'm looking for about 6 of them for a good meal. And that's me. I mean, but I don't know. Slab Buster says fake news. What are you talking about, Slab Buster? Matt, fake news, lots of laughs. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I said something. I don't want to go back. I'll lose my spot. But this is a good question. Ashley says, I bought some fin spins recently, which is like a pony head. It's got a blade on it. For you guys that don't know what a fin spin is, it looks like a little pony head, got a blade. I don't think I have any with me tonight. I don't think. But wait a minute. Nope. Nope, I don't have any. But it looks like a road runner or pony head, got a little blade on it. He said he tried one Saturday. Is there a time or condition where you feel a blade or jig head will entice a better bite? Yes. I use a blade, Ashley, early summer, and spring is mostly when I use a blade. There are times in the winter when you can use a blade and you can tell a noticeable difference. But spring is probably, if I had to pick one season for a blade, it'd be spring. Fish are active. They don't want anything around their fry or their beds. They're in a mood that's just different, and a blade will entice more fish to bite. So I would say spring. Uh-oh, Chris said I'm on my own. So if we get any more tonight, we're in trouble. Thanks, Chris. Man, he says he's going fishing tomorrow. Some of us have to work, buddy. Good luck fishing tomorrow if you're still on. Go lay down, buddy. What? What? I'm on live and you're interrupting. I got old Rust Dog down here interrupting us, guys. You hear him? He's shaking his head. He's like, no, I'm not going to quit. He's telling me no. He's a good one. Jimmy Pratt said bamboo stakes don't put off much shade. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You get several stacked up together, you'd be surprised what they'll put off. Slabbuster says, here on Neely Henry, Matt. Neely Henry. When the sun comes up, they run under docks for the most part. I fish brush till about 10, then hit docks. It's like clockwork here. Well, I'll be honest with you, Slabbuster. It's like clockwork a lot of places. So we fish the same way up here a lot of times when fish are on docks. There's some lakes that docks will hold them year round. There's some lakes that docks only hold them a certain time of the year. But we fish the same way. So, we'll fish brush early morning, and then as the sun comes up, we'll migrate to docks. It's a very, very, very good comment because it works. Shade. What? What do you want? Come on. Come on. Come on, get up here. You want to say hi? Come on. Come on. Get up here. Come on. There. Say hi to everybody. Up here. Look, come here. Say hi. Say hi to old Rust Dog. You're a good boy. Now get down. All right, let me let him out, guys. Come on. Thank you. That dog's bugging me. All right. Blake says good night. Good night, Blake. Let's see. Daryl says, took a trip to Crappie Cove the other day, left with an Ozark dock shooter. When you get ready to get rid of yours, let me know. Lots of laughs with Daryl. I hate to tell you, buddy, but mine are long gone. I don't have any Ozarks left. I actually got rid of them, I don't know, some time ago. But, you know, they are good rods. I will say that. The rods are good. They got a good product. And, you know, they just unfortunately have a different vision than we do at Wired for Crappie. So, but nonetheless, good product. All right, guys, it looks like I've got to the bottom of my feed here. I'm going to give it a few minutes, talk a little bit more. And if you guys have any other questions or comments, please leave them down there. We're actually a little early tonight. It's an hour and 20 minutes, which we normally go about 2 hours. So if you guys have anything else at all, please put it in there. I'm going to talk for another minute. Who's checked out the Wired for Crappie website? Have you guys looked at the Wired for Crappie website, www.wiredforcrappie.com? You need to check out the website. We've got some merchandise on there. Got some shirts on there right now. Working on getting, and it's completely my fault that it's not up yet, but we've got hoodies, got hats. The hoodies are here. So got to get the hoodies on the website. We got hats coming that are going to be on the website, Wired for Crappie hats. And we've got toboggans or beanies, whichever one you call them. That'll be on the website soon too. So if you guys hadn't checked the website out, check it out. Get you a shirt, get you a hat, get you a toboggan, get you a hoodie when those come out. The site is live and ready for you guys. If anybody has any problems on the site, shoot me a message, let me know. It should be working flawlessly. So, check that out. I appreciate you guys. Let's see, what else? Crappie Cove, we went through the website, or not the website. We went through I've actually been told on here, seen that the Crappie Cove's website is up and running, so you guys can check that out, the website for Crappie Cove. But discount codes for Crappie Cove, again, is Wired. Discount code for Bonehead, if you guys want to save 15% on all your Bonehead jigs, that's Crappie 2020. Go Crappie 2020 on www.boneheadtackle.com. You get 15% off. And then Fishing Specialties. The Fishing Specialties poll is you can get 10% off it with the Wired discount too. So got a good video coming this week. I think you guys will enjoy it. Kind of a rundown of my boat, kind of a rundown of everything that I use on the water and how it benefits Wired for Crappie. And I've been asked, I think, about 312 times over the last couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, what units I use, what mounts I use, what trolling motor I have, what pole, what's the pole on the front. So I want to do a little video, show you guys everything that's in the boat that I use to be successful. So that's coming up this week. I think you guys will enjoy that. Should be out here in the next couple of days. Kind of be a little off the water stuff. So I hope you guys like that. Then we'll get back to on the water stuff here the week after that. So a lot of good things going. Really enjoying everything again. Very, very busy time of the year coming up, especially with holidays and Christmases. And I do deer hunt, so I'm going to try to get in the woods a little bit too. I think I may try to video the youth hunt when I take my boys hunting. I think that'd be pretty cool. We'll probably do a little video there and maybe we'll be successful. I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got a great place to hunt, so I'm looking forward to that. May as well be hunting in the Atlanta Zoo, but it's deer everywhere. I mean, they're all over the place. So anyway, should be a good one. Probably take the GoPro out there. I got to figure out how to mute my GoPro though before I do that, because every time I turn my GoPro on, it beeps. It goes doo-doo-doo. Kind of like that ain't gonna work. So I'll figure out how to do that. Probably take that in video a little bit, but a lot of good things coming. Let's see. Scott Pace says he got my first ACC 8-footer. Can't wait to try it. Now, let me know how you like it, Scott. They're great rods. Did you get the super grip or did you get the cork grip? Because I know the 8-footer starts the super grip. David Wall says, if I bought 5 ACC crappie sticks in the last month or last couple months, does that mean I'm addicted? No. That means you're buying good product, man. It means you're buying good product. It means you're investing in a lifelong relationship with good product. That's what that means. What different action do you get when you change how you hook the minnow? Oh yeah, that's a good one. I want to talk about that a little bit because that's something that even I learned. Okay, whether it be through the lips, eyes, back, or tail, how do you make the decision? So let me talk about that real quick. Slabbuster says good night. Angela Church says have a good night. Good night, Angela. Thank you for joining us. Scott says got the cork grip. That's awesome. David loves them. Angela says hello from New York City. What's going on, Angela? From New York City. I think that's my first New York City from the Big Apple. What's going on? All right, so let's go back. Minnows, okay? As a tournament fisherman, you guys know you try to stack the deck the best you can, right? So we always, well, not always. We typically have minnows in the boat when we know there's going to be a extreme pressure drop like we had on Douglas last week. This is probably going to be one of the best tips of the night too. So I'm just saying. We caught 95% of our fish on a jig, okay? On a soft plastic bait. That's what we caught most of our fish on. But when we got on fish that wouldn't bite, we would always put a minnow down in front of those fish to try to get those fish to bite, to see if they would bite a live bait, right? So all day long, I'd grab a 10-foot ACC. I'd throw I had an 1/8-ounce jig head on there, and I'd throw a minnow on it, hook through go underneath the chin, and through one of the nostrils in the nose, right? Go right through the bottom, up to the top, through the lips, if you will. Just drop it down there. They'd look at it. When it hit it, just drop nothing. Always try it before you leave a fish, especially a big fish, right? So you always do it. Well, at the end of the day, we were on our last brush pile that we were fishing. It was about 3 o'clock. Well, 2:45. We stopped. We're getting ready to fish this brush pile. And we're fishing. We caught 4 or 5 off a jig. I thought, okay, let's put a minnow down there. Put one down there, hooked through the lips. Nothing. Not a bite. I mean, I sat there and held that rod for 3 or 4 minutes. Nothing. And I could see fish on the live scope. Wouldn't even come up to the minnow. So I reeled in, looked at the minnow. He was halfway alive. I thought, well, let's put a fresh minnow on there. So I reached back there, grabbed a minnow, went to hook it through the tail or through the lips, and I thought, let's hook this joker in the tail and see what happens. So I hooked that joker in the tail and I dropped it down there, and no sooner than that thing got down there, whack! I mean, it's the jig head stopped, and when it stopped, I saw fish come running. Wham! Hit that minnow. Set the hook, pulled it in. I actually culled a fish with it. With the first one I caught, I culled a fish, and I thought, okay. So I reached back there and grabbed another one, hooked it through the tail, dropped it down there, whack. Okay, another one. Hooked another one, dropped it, just one after the other, just started reeling fish in left and right. And I thought, wait a minute, now why, when I hook that minnow through the lips, I don't get a bite. But when I hooked that joker through the tail, oh man, it was on like Donkey Kong. Now, there's several thoughts going through my head about why that is, and I'll share them with you, okay? Let me get a jig head. So I was using an 1/8 ounce jig head. Okay, this is an aspirin head for those that were asking about jig heads. But anyway, that's an aspirin head. There's several reasons I think that hooking that minnow through the tail made a significant difference. Significant difference. One is when that minnow is pinned through the nose, okay, the tail action on that minnow is completely different than when that minnow is pinned on the tail, okay? So when I have him pinned on the nose, his tail is moving and his nose is probably staying, especially with an 1/8 ounce jig head, staying somewhat still, but the tail's moving, okay? How many of you guys have watched a video with a bass or a catfish or some type, or even caught crappie with bait in their mouth? And this is my brain. This is how I think about stuff. This is how I go completely crazy at night and keep myself awake until 1 a.m. thinking about why crappie bite certain stuff, right? Have you ever caught a fish with a bait fish or ever seen a video with another fish in a fish's mouth? When they pull that fish out of their mouth, or when you look down in a crappie's gullet and you see a minnow in that crappie's gullet, what's sticking out? Can anybody answer that question? Can anybody leave a comment and tell me what's sticking out? If you look down in a crappie's throat and there's bait fish in there, can you tell me what's sticking out? Every time I've ever seen it. I don't see any comments yet. I'm sure somebody knows, they're just not commenting. So what's sticking out is the tail, okay? Because, and I got to thinking about it later that night, and I thought, fish always, from what I've seen, always eat their minnow or their bait head first. Always have that bait head first. The tail, there you go. The tail is sticking out. I see the comments now. They just popped up. Extremely behind. The tail is always sticking out of the gullet. So when you hook that minnow in the tail and his head is sticking out, he's wiggling that tail. And not only is he wiggling his tail, but that jig head that's colored, he's wiggling that too, because he's wiggling his tail trying to swim. And if he's got an 1/8 ounce jig head attached to his tail, it's probably causing him a little distress down underneath the surface of the water, because he's got a weight that's weighing down his tail, and he's probably nose up, and he's trying to flip, trying to get that, keep himself afloat. And that fish is able to hit that minnow head first. That's my thought. Now, some of you guys may have a different thought, but when I started hooking those minnows in the tail, fish started hitting that minnow like it was nobody's business. And I honestly do believe it was because they could strike that minnow head first, which is what they wanted, how they generally eat. So if you're out there fishing minnows, and so where's Ashley's comment? So Ashley, Josh, Ashley's your partner. Don't get mad at me. I'm not cussing you by calling you Ashley. Ashley, don't get mad at me for calling Josh you. But Josh, if you're out there fishing minnows and you're hooking them through the lips and you're not getting any bites, by all means, buddy, hook that joker up through the tail, because when I did, it made all the difference in the world. Now, I've been out there on days when you hook them through the lips and they'll hit it as soon as it gets to the brush pile. As soon as it gets to the top of the brush pile, they're on it. Just wham, wham, wham. I take my kids fishing. I've always hooked minnows through the lips. Just one after the other, one fish after the other. But on that specific day, that's how they wanted it. And I honestly believe it's because the action of the minnow and because they could hit that minnow in the head. Josh Sanders, thank you, buddy. I appreciate the super chat very much. Half a trip's worth of gas. Thanks for the info. You're welcome, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat so much. Thank you very much. I sound like the king. Thank you. Oh, Elvis. My wife's grandmother loved Elvis, absolutely infatuated with Elvis. She loved him. As a matter of fact, speaking of my wife, I washed my hands earlier. Whose wife gets the Christmas flavored soaps out? This is completely off topic, but my hands smell like a Christmas cookie, and I love it. I'm sorry, but I got to say it, but my wife is a Christmas nut. I love her to death, and she always gets the Christmas soaps every year, and they always land on my sink at about this time, and she knows what I like too, because I like vanilla. I don't know why that's weird as crap. Most of you guys are going to laugh at me, but it makes me hungry. It smells like a Christmas cookie. Anyway, I'm getting delirious now, guys. It's late. I'm getting delirious. I'm telling you, it's 10:30. You're getting a whole different side of Matt right now. This is Coke in this cup, I promise you. Cherry Coke at that. Nothing else. Scott Pace said, good thinking. Yeah, that's my thinking. That's the only thing that I could think of. Because trust me, when I came home that evening, I laid in bed and I'm looking up at the dark ceiling, and I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm going, why in the world would this? Because when we were on the lake, we just kind of attributed it to, the fish got active. No, fish didn't get active. There's more to it than that. And on the way home, my fishing partner and I had a conversation about it. And I said, I flipped that minute because I made a point to say, I'm going to hook this one through the tail and see what happens. Dropped it down there, whack. And it made a difference. So that's what my messed up brain came up with. I've actually never hooked a minnow through the tail, only through the lips or the eye sockets. How do you hook it? Bottom side, on the back side, or laterally through one side and out the other? Laterally. So if you're going to hook one through the tail, you hook it laterally. There is a little black line on a crappie minnow, or bullheaded minnow, crappie minnow. There's a little black line that runs right down around his spine. Let's go right above the black line, a quarter of an inch in front of his tail, and right above the black line, which is his spine, and hook him right through there, drop him down. You're ready to go. You're ready to rock. So that's how I hooked him through the tail. David Walsh says right under the top fin, closest to the tail. So I went a little further back. So, the dorsal fin on top, I didn't go right underneath it. I actually went about halfway from the dorsal fin to the tail. I went about halfway in the middle, and then right down above that little black line and hooked him right through there is where I was hooking him. So, see, I'm not the only one. See, I ain't crazy. David says, I love Christmas scents, dude. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm telling you, the Christmas scents, the Bath and Body Works scents, my wife gets them all the time, every year. Love them. They're my favorite. She's standing at the door looking at me. I just gave myself away. But man, I love them. They smell so good. My hands smell like a cookie. It makes me hungry all day. But I do. I do. She knows it too because she always puts them where I can get to them. Daryl Coral says, good night. Crappie Fisherman. See, Matt, thanks for the channel and have a crappie day. You too, buddy. Josh Sanders says, good night. LFG. David says, you and LFG need to collab. Who's LFG? I think I know, David. Who is LFG? I feel like I should know it right off the rip, but I have somebody in my mind. Karen H. Thanks for all the great advice. We love our Wednesdays with you and love your shout outs to the little woman. Well, thank you, Karen H. Thank you very much for the super chat. I love my Wednesday nights with you just as much, I promise. That's why I just run my mouth for 2 hours every Wednesday night, but I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for the super chat. That'll help me out tremendously. And I appreciate it very, 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 very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for watching, because I couldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for you guys watching. So thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. Lake Fork guy. Yes, William. That is who I was thinking of. Actually, for some reason, I was thinking Lake Fork girl, LFG, because he always calls his wife LFG. And I was thinking Lake Fork girl, and I was like, surely, God, you're not talking. I'm talking about my wife, and you're talking about LFG. So I'm surely the good Lord, you're not talking about Lake Fork girl, which is Lake Fork guy's wife, and he calls her LFG all the time. Anyway, but yeah, Lake Fork guy. I would love to. I would absolutely love more than anything to hook up with him and do something, anything. He is. I've watched him for years, and I've followed him. He's a really big bass guy. I used to bass fish, don't anymore, but great guy, great representative for the sport of fishing. And I even followed him back when he went through everything with his. Well, he put it on YouTube, so I'll talk about it. But with his cancer and his treatments and his everything that he had there, I really would love to do something with him. There's a lot of guys I'd love to do stuff with. I'd love to get together with Ken. I'd love to get together with Charlie Burrows from up in Crappie. There's a lot of guys. Richard Jean, he's down there not too far from me. He's right around the corner. But I've got guys right here around me that are doing stuff, so there's just so much to do in so little time, guys. But I would love to. I would love to for sure. William says, first time on the stream. LFG is awesome. He is. LFG is awesome without a doubt. He's got a personality second to none. So really, really cool guy. Cool dude for sure. But anyway, all right. I got to the end of the stream here. We've been on for about an hour and 45. I think we're going to call it tonight. I appreciate each and every person for watching. I saw over 100 tonight, guys. That's awesome. I don't know if that's going to be a new record for us. I'll have to look and see. Once everything processes through YouTube, I can look and see what our highest concurrent. Wait a minute. I just saw another comment come in. Bradley Baker, getting ready to pull the trigger on getting live scope. I'll seeing some comments on Ghost Tree showing up. Any comments? I'm seeing some comments on Ghost Tree showing up. Any comments, I think, is what you mean there. Bradley, let me say this. Okay, the Ghost Tree is a product of a unit that's not adjusted properly. I hate to say that, but that's the truth of it. if you don't have your unit adjusted right, you're going to get it. It's not actually a ghost tree. What it is it's actually it's a feedback from the sonar itself. Okay. You have to adjust your unit properly so that you don't get the feedback. I mean, everybody ends up with it. Now, there is also a quote unquote ghost tree that comes from the top of the screen and almost makes an L. I'll have to video that for you one day, or video that for you guys one day, because you can actually get rid of that by taking your transducer out of the water and putting it back in the water. What happens is when you take that transducer out of the water and you put it back in, sometimes you'll get air bubbles that'll accumulate on that transducer. And those air bubbles, that when the frequency or the sonar goes through them, it kind of distorts a little bit and gives you this weird little thing on top of the screen. But you could actually pick your pole up and down. I have a pole, so I'm going to say pole. You can take your pole and dip it in the water a couple times, and that'll go away completely. And I'm not lying, because I've had several people that are on the live probably still tonight that have been in my boat that have seen it. And I've been like, hey, watch this. You know the ghost tree they're talking about? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, watch this. Gone. Complete black screen. They're like, what? What was that? I was like, I tell you, but I had to kill you. So you're the first. But no, it's as long as you have proper power, okay? As long as you have above 12 volts consistently, you've got to have power. LiveScope's power hungry. You've got to power it properly. So as long as you have the right amount of power, and as long as you adjust that screen correctly, you won't have any problems, Bradley. You just gotta to make sure you've got those two things, okay? And LiveScope will run flawless. Scott Pace is looking forward to seeing you on Gunnersville. And Weiss. Good night. God bless. Good night. God bless to you as well, buddy. And he says, give thumbs up before y'all leave. Please give thumbs up before you leave. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm going to go back to my outro, my out speech. Got interrupted on that LiveScope question, but wanted to answer it. I enjoy answering those, and I wanted to get that before I left. I didn't want to leave Bradley hanging. So I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for all you do for the channel. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys on the flip next week, and I will catch you on the video here in just a couple days and get that all edited and out there for you. But I appreciate it, guys, and God bless. Good night. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.